Implementation of Digital Communication Standards by 2024, a comprehensive overview. Introduction. The telecommunications sector is on the brink of a significant transformation as it gears up for the implementation of new digital communication standards by 2024. Central to this initiative is a substantial budget allocation of $100 million primarily focused on enhancing data privacy and consumer protections. This report outlines the critical phases of implementation, regulatory developments, and technological advancements shaping this initiative. 1. Regulatory framework and key phases. The Federal Communications Commission (FCC) is leading the charge in the United States with several initiatives designed to modernize and secure digital communications. The FCC's recent report highlights two major developments: the adoption of anti-discrimination rules to ensure equal access to high-speed broadband and the proposed reclassification of fixed broadband under Title II, which aims to reinforce consumer protections and enhance network security. The implementation process is broken down into 5 key phases. Assessment and planning. This initial phase involves a comprehensive analysis of existing capabilities and identifying gaps in compliance with the new standards. Stakeholders will evaluate current infrastructure and technologies to determine what modifications are necessary. Development and testing. Following assessments, the next phase focuses on creating and rigorously testing new technologies that align with the updated standards. This phase is critical to ensure that the technologies are not only effective but also secure against emerging threats. Pilot programs. Once technologies are developed, pilot programs will be launched to test their effectiveness in real-world conditions. These trials will provide invaluable data on performance and user experience, allowing for adjustments before full-scale implementation. Full-scale implementation. After successful pilot testing, the technologies will be rolled out across networks. This phase is expected to involve significant collaboration between various stakeholders, including telecom companies, regulatory bodies, and technology providers. Monitoring and evaluation. The final phase focuses on the ongoing assessment and evaluation of the implemented standards. Continuous monitoring will ensure compliance, security, and performance, facilitating timely adjustments in response to any issues that arise. 2. Common themes. A recurring theme across various sources discussing this initiative is the urgent need to protect consumer data privacy in an increasingly digital landscape. The $100 million budget is emphasized as a vital investment to bolster data security measures with a focus on developing robust technologies capable of safeguarding user information. 3. Differences in focus. While the FCC's regulatory developments are a significant focus for some analysts, others delve deeper into the technical aspects of the communication standards. For instance, some sources discuss specific technologies being adopted, such as encryption protocols and advanced authentication measures, which are crucial for securing data in transit. Additionally, the importance of international cooperation and standardization is highlighted in certain analyses, contrasting with the more US-centric perspective provided by the FCC. 4. Timeline of events. The timeline for the implementation of digital communication standards is outlined as follows. October 2023, the FCC proposed reinstating net neutrality, indicating a shift towards stricter regulations for broadband service providers aimed at protecting consumer interests and promoting fair access to digital resources. 2024, this year marks the target for the complete implementation of updated digital communication standards, with a strong emphasis on enhancing data privacy and consumer protection. 5. Implications for the future. The collaborative effort among regulatory bodies, technology providers, and stakeholders aims to create a comprehensive framework for digital communications that prioritizes user security and equitable access to services. The integration of these standards is expected to reshape the telecommunications landscape, significantly fostering innovation while ensuring that consumer rights are protected. Conclusion. In summary, the implementation of digital communication standards by 2024 is a multifaceted initiative that promises to enhance data privacy and consumer protection in the digital age. With a well-defined plan consisting of 5 key phases and a substantial budget allocation, this initiative reflects a proactive approach to addressing the challenges posed by the evolving telecommunications environment. As stakeholders work together to navigate the complexities of this implementation, the focus remains on creating a secure, equitable, and innovative digital communication ecosystem. The content presents several counterintuitive insights regarding the implementation of digital communication standards and their implications for data privacy. 1. Regulatory focus versus technological innovation. While one might assume that technological innovation in telecommunications is primarily driven by advancements in technology itself, the emphasis on regulatory frameworks such as the FCC's proposed reclassification of broadband under Title II highlights that legal and regulatory changes can significantly shape the development and deployment of technology. This suggests that innovation in telecommunications is as much about compliance and regulation as it is about technological capability. 2. Budget allocation for data privacy versus consumer expectations. The allocation of a substantial $100 million budget specifically for enhancing data privacy may seem excessive, especially in an industry known for rapid technological advancements and profit margins. However, this investment underscores a growing recognition that consumer expectations regarding data privacy are at an all-time high, suggesting that failing to meet these expectations could have more severe financial ramifications than the budget itself. 3. Pilot programs as a standard practice. The traditional view of pilot programs is often that they represent a cautious approach to implementation, but the inclusion of pilot programs in the implementation phases indicates a shift towards a more experimental and iterative approach to technology deployment. This may contradict the expectation that large-scale rollouts happen without prior testing, emphasizing the importance of real-world evaluations in shaping technology before full implementation. 4. Consumer protection versus market competition. The initiative to enforce stricter consumer protections through anti-discrimination rules could be interpreted as a hindrance to market competition, as it imposes additional burdens on broadband providers. However, the argument is made that such regulations can actually enhance competition by leveling the playing field and preventing larger companies from monopolizing access to high-speed broadband. This contrarian view suggests that regulatory intervention can foster a more competitive market rather than stifle it. 5. International cooperation versus national strategies. The emphasis on a US-centric approach to digital communication standards may initially seem to contradict the need for international cooperation and standardization. However, the narrative suggests that strong national strategies such as the National Spectrum Strategy are essential precursors to effective international collaboration. This insight points to the idea that robust national policies can create a more favorable environment for global standards rather than being at odds with them. These counterintuitive points illustrate the complex dynamics at play in the implementation of digital communication standards and the multifaceted nature of regulatory, technological, and consumer considerations in this evolving landscape. The implementation of digital communication standards by 2024, backed by a substantial budget of $100 million, aims to address critical issues in data privacy and network security. While the report outlines the 5 key phases of this initiative, several important aspects are likely to be overlooked by many readers. Here are those details along with their significance. 1. Importance of regulatory framework. While the report mentions the FCC's role in adopting anti-discrimination rules and net neutrality, the broader implications of a regulatory framework are often underestimated. The regulation not only impacts consumer access to services but also shapes the competitive landscape among service providers. By ensuring that no provider can prioritize their own services over competitors, the FCC is fostering an environment where innovation can thrive. This is critical in an industry that is rapidly changing due to technological advancements. The significance lies in the establishment of a level playing field which encourages smaller companies to enter the market and innovate without being overshadowed by larger incumbents. 2. National Spectrum Strategy. The report briefly mentions the national spectrum strategy but may not fully convey its importance. Efficient spectrum management is vital as the demand for wireless communication continues to surge. The spectrum is a limited resource essential for mobile networks, Wi-Fi, and emerging technologies like 5G and IoT. The strategy aims to allocate spectrum in a manner that maximizes innovation while minimizing interference. This is particularly significant for rural areas where access to high-speed internet is limited. By prioritizing spectrum efficiency, the strategy could bridge the digital divide and foster inclusivity and access to digital services. 3. Security and consumer trust. The report highlights the $100 million budget allocation for enhancing data privacy but may not detail how this investment will be utilized effectively. Security measures are not just about compliance, they are about building consumer trust. In an age where data breaches are prevalent, consumers are increasingly wary of how their data is handled. Investing in robust security protocols and transparent practices can enhance consumer confidence in using digital services, which can lead to increased adoption and usage of these technologies. The significance of this trust cannot be overstated. It is foundational for the long-term success of any digital communication strategy. 4. International cooperation and standardization. While the report focuses on U.S. regulatory developments, the necessity for international cooperation and standardization in digital communication cannot be overlooked. The globalization of technology means that standards in one country can affect others. Aligning U.S. standards with international guidelines enhances interoperability, making it easier for companies to operate across borders. This is particularly important for multinational corporations that rely on consistent communication protocols. The significance lies in fostering collaboration and reducing barriers to entry for U.S. companies in international markets. 5. Real-world testing through pilot programs. The report outlines the implementation phases, including pilot programs. But the potential impact of these real-world tests is significant. Pilot programs serve as critical testing grounds for new technologies and standards. They allow stakeholders to identify unforeseen challenges and gather data on user experiences before a full-scale rollout. This iterative approach minimizes risks associated with large-scale implementation and ensures that the technologies adopted are user-friendly and effective. By emphasizing the importance of pilot testing, stakeholders can better prepare for the complexities of real-world application, leading to smoother transitions and higher adoption rates. 6. Continuous monitoring and adaptation. The final phase of the implementation process involves monitoring and evaluation, which is often an afterthought in many initiatives. Continuous assessment allows for dynamic adaptation to the fast-evolving landscape of digital communication. Technologies and threats are constantly changing, thus, a static approach to standards can quickly become obsolete. The significance here is in establishing a culture of agility within organizations, enabling them to respond promptly to new challenges and opportunities. This ongoing evaluation process is crucial for maintaining high standards of data privacy and security, ensuring that the framework remains relevant and effective. Conclusion. In conclusion, while the report provides a structured overview of the implementation of digital communication standards by 2024, it is imperative to recognize the deeper implications of each component. The regulatory framework, spectrum management, consumer trust, international cooperation, pilot programs, and continuous monitoring are all vital elements that contribute to the initiative's overall success. By understanding and addressing these often overlooked aspects, stakeholders can drive meaningful change in the telecommunications landscape, ultimately benefiting consumers and businesses alike. The significance of the $100 million budget allocation extends beyond mere numbers. It represents a commitment to creating a safer, more equitable digital communication environment. 1. Regulatory framework and phases of implementation. The regulatory landscape, particularly the role of the FCC, is pivotal in the implementation of digital communication standards. The FCC's proposed reclassification of fixed broadband under Title II aims to enhance consumer protections and network security, emphasizing net neutrality. The 5 key phases: assessment and planning, development and testing, pilot programs, full-scale implementation, and monitoring and evaluation outline a structured approach to achieving these standards by 2024. 2. Investment in data privacy. The allocated $100 million budget signifies a substantial investment in enhancing data privacy measures. This financial commitment is crucial for developing technologies that comply with new standards and ensures the robustness of data security frameworks as digital communication becomes increasingly integral to daily life. 3. Common themes across sources. There is a notable consensus on the urgency of implementing these standards to safeguard consumer data privacy. The sources collectively highlight the necessity of regulatory compliance and the need for technological advancements to address the challenges posed by the digital landscape, underscoring a unified call for action among stakeholders. 4. Timeline and future implications. The proposed reinstatement of net neutrality in October 2023 alongside the 2024 target for full implementation sets a critical timeline that will influence the telecommunications sector. This timeline not only indicates the pace at which these changes will occur but also hints at broader implications for consumer rights and equitable access to digital services, setting the stage for a transformation in the telecommunications landscape. Here are 3 famous historical cases that bear similarities to the implementation of digital communication standards and data privacy initiatives. 1. The Telecommunications Act of 1996, United States. The Telecommunications Act of 1996 was a significant piece of legislation that aimed to deregulate the telecommunications industry in the United States. A key aspect of this act was the introduction of competition in local phone markets, which was intended to enhance consumer choice and improve service quality. Similar to the current push for digital communication standards, the act encompassed regulatory measures that sought to ensure consumer protection, promote innovation, and expand access to telecommunications services. The Act also emphasized the importance of maintaining a level playing field for all service providers, paralleling the modern focus on net neutrality and equitable access to broadband services. 2. The General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR), European Union. Enacted in May 2018, the GDPR is a comprehensive data protection law in the European Union that set a new standard for data privacy and security. The regulation was implemented to give individuals greater control over their personal data and to ensure that organizations handle data responsibly. Like the proposed digital communication standards, the GDPR was developed in response to growing concerns about data privacy in an increasingly digital world. It laid out specific phases for compliance, including assessments, implementation of data protection measures, and ongoing monitoring. The GDPR also established hefty fines for non-compliance, reflecting a strong commitment to enhancing data privacy. Similar to the $100 million budget allocation for the current Digital Standards Initiative. 3. The Federal Information Security Management Act (FISMA), United States. Enacted in 2002, FISMA was designed to protect government information operations and assets against natural or man-made threats. This legislation established a framework for securing federal information systems, requiring agencies to develop, document, and implement an information security program. Just as the current initiative emphasizes a structured approach to enhancing data privacy and security in telecommunications, FISMA introduced a phased approach to risk management, compliance assessments, and continuous monitoring. It underscored the importance of a regulatory framework that aligns with technological advancements and evolving threats, resonating with the goals of the modern Digital Communication Standards Initiative. The future outlook for the implementation of digital communication standards by 2024, particularly in the context of enhancing data privacy with a substantial budget of $100 million, is poised for significant transformation in the telecommunications sector. Here are key predictions for the next several years. 1. Strengthen regulatory frameworks. By 2024, we anticipate that regulatory bodies like the FCC will have established a robust framework that not only enforces compliance with new digital communication standards but also adapts to emerging technologies. As net neutrality regulations are reinstated and broadband is reclassified under Title II, these measures will enhance consumer protections and ensure equitable access to high-speed internet. This will likely lead to increased public trust in telecommunications providers as consumers will feel more secure in their data privacy. 2. Advanced technological solutions. The development and testing phase of new technologies will yield innovative solutions designed to enhance data privacy. Expect to see advancements in encryption methodologies, privacy-preserving data sharing techniques, and more sophisticated identity management systems. These technologies will be integral to the pilot programs slated for launch, allowing for real-world evaluation of their effectiveness in safeguarding consumer information. 3. Increased investment in cybersecurity. With the $100 million budget allocation, a significant portion is likely to be dedicated to enhancing cybersecurity measures across telecommunications networks. As cyber threats become more sophisticated, investment in advanced security protocols, threat detection systems, and incident response strategies will be crucial. This heightened focus on cybersecurity will not only protect consumer data but also fortify the overall integrity of communication networks. 4. Greater emphasis on consumer education. As new standards are rolled out, there will be a concerted effort to educate consumers about their rights and the measures taken to protect their data. Communication providers will likely launch campaigns to inform users about how their data is collected, processed, and secured. This shift towards transparency is expected to empower consumers, fostering a sense of agency and control over their personal information. 5. International collaboration and standardization. As digital communication standards evolve, there will be a growing need for international cooperation to ensure consistency across borders. Countries may begin to align their regulations and standards, which will facilitate smoother global communication and data exchange. This collaboration could involve shared best practices and joint initiatives aimed at tackling privacy concerns on a global scale, thereby enhancing the effectiveness of local implementations. 6. Long-term monitoring and adaptation. The final phase of monitoring and evaluation will be critical in ensuring the standards are effective in real-world applications. Feedback loops will be established to continually assess the performance of new technologies and regulations. This iterative process will allow for timely adjustments and improvements, ensuring that the standards remain relevant and effective in an ever-evolving digital landscape. 7. Impact on market dynamics. The implementation of these standards is expected to reshape competitive dynamics in the telecommunications industry. Providers that prioritize data privacy and comply with new regulations may gain a competitive edge, attracting consumers who value security. Conversely, companies that fail to adapt may face regulatory penalties and loss of market share. This shift could lead to a more consumer-centric industry where privacy and security are key differentiators. 8. Emerging challenges. Despite the positive outlook, challenges will persist. The rapid pace of technological change may outstrip regulatory efforts, leading to potential gaps in coverage. Additionally, the effectiveness of implemented standards will depend on widespread adoption and compliance among all industry players. Ongoing dialogues between regulators, technology providers, and consumers will be essential to address these challenges. Conclusion. In summary, The future of digital communication standards implementation by 2024 looks promising, with a strong emphasis on enhancing data privacy through structured phases and significant investments. As regulations solidify and technologies advance, the telecommunications landscape will likely evolve into a more secure and equitable environment for consumers. Ultimately, the success of this initiative will hinge on collaborative efforts among stakeholders and a commitment to ongoing adaptation in the face of new challenges.